What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D, and I am back with another one. Today, I'm going to be talking about a situation where you had another black man that was attacked and left for dead at the Michigan Bliss Music Festival. I have audio and video of the situation. I'm having everything queued up. Give me a second, and once I'm done with the video, we'll do commentary. But here we go.
A brutal attack at a popular festival up north, leaving a local family desperate for answers and a man fighting for his life. Fox News' Jamie Sherrod is live with more. Jamie, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Amy, this all happened at Bliss Music Festival in Harbor Springs near Petoskey. 37-year-old Lon Hartman was there with his dance partner and a few others to perform at the event. But it's what happened hours later that's leaving his family with a lot of questions and a community shaken.
On Saturday evening, he had went to bed early after his dance performance. And the next morning, he was found around 9 a.m. hanging out of his tent with two large lacerations right above his collarbone and right below it. And that he had lost 8 pints of blood. And, it was looking like he shouldn't be alive right now is basically what they were saying. There's no way he should be alive with the amount of blood that he lost. You ask anyone about him, they will tell you he would give the shirt off his back for anybody. And frankly, we're all shocked and in disbelief of who would do something to such a sweet person. He did not deserve this. And from all the evidence we've gathered, it looks like, it could have been a hate crime at this point.
How important is it to get justice in this situation for Lon?
I think it's very important because no one deserves this. And if this was anyone else's family member, everyone would want justice. And I feel that a person out there is a threat to everyone's freedom and everyone's health and stability in this area.
Yeah, the family wants to make it clear this was not a suicide attempt. They say hours before, Lon reached out saying he did not feel safe. They say it's been challenging working with police there. The Emmett County Sheriff's Office, they say that they are investigating and this remains an active priority. There has been a GoFundMe page created to help with medical expenses at this time as Lon Hartman remains in the intensive care unit. Back to you.
Okay, so Jamie, obviously losing all that blood, those severe cuts, I'm guessing they've not actually been able to speak with him in any meaningful way yet?
They have been able to communicate with him, Amy, not verbally. He's been blinking and they've been communicating with him that way. So for instance, one blink may mean yes, 2 blinks that may mean no. So that's all they can do right now because traumatic attacks, severe injuries, at this point, that is the only way they can communicate with him.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop and come out. So yeah, and again, this is an ongoing situation, here in this country with black men being attacked, throughout this country. So look, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You heard what the sister said. They found this man hanging out of the tent, and she didn't want to say it, but it looked like they tried to hang this young man. She said he had 2 lacerations, like they damn near tried to cut his head off. But from previous cases that we've been hearing throughout the country, it sounded like they tried to hang this young man. And this was a 37-year-old young man that went down to this festival to perform. And they found this young man in his tent, basically, like the sister said, hanging out of his tent. So if you guys don't realize what's going on throughout the country, we are being targeted, we are being attacked. So you guys have to do a better job of your surroundings and who you're hanging with. If you're going to be going to a concert or anywhere, where it's a bunch of white people, you better surround yourself with a group of black folks too. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you just have to be careful, or you really can't even attend events like this. When you have a majority of white folks that's attending these events and you're pretty much the lone star out of the group. So again, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your opinion. We have to be careful where we are in this situation, and this is due in the wake of the the Nolan Wells situation. You know, this happened after that situation. You know, so these are ongoing cases. The authorities need to do a better job, you know, at getting to the bottom of these situations. You know, because like I said, at the end of the day, in my opinion, we are being targeted. We are being attacked. So do your due justice when you're hanging with these so-called friends. You know, because at the end of the day, like I said, you know, you have to watch who you're hanging with, or you can find yourself hanging by yourself. So I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Here's another one. It's your boy Damn D. And then one thing before I end this, the family said this young man was not suicidal. So I'm glad that, you know, the sister said that, you know, because they try to end a lot of these cases with, you know, this young man was suicidal. He went down there and hung himself, you know, so because once they call these cases suicides, there's no more investigation. So I'm glad the sister put that out there so they can do their investigation. So it's another one. It's your boy Damn D, and I am out. Peace.